What is going on? Siri Lovejav here, and today we're playing some Entropia Universe. After we got those nice robot hits, I've decided to go back out and see if there's any more robots left to take on, and it looks like there are. So yeah, we're going to be doing another robot hunt. This time I'm going out with 155 PEDs of ammo. Now, I don't think I'm going to use it all, but let's see how it goes. Also, hopefully the sound is going to be recording on this one. I know the last video we didn't get sound. So the reason for that was just like, for some reason, every now and then when I record Entropia Universe videos, I don't get sound. Like, it just doesn't come through. Not really much I can do about it, unfortunately. You know, I could play around with the game. I could try and get it to work, but I've tried. I haven't seen anything happen. We're going to turn that up just a little bit in case that was the case, but ooh, I think this little guy's stuck here. That's not good. He needs to hit me, otherwise he's going to go... There we go, come on. Okay. Well, that works. It's not really my fault that this is happening. I think this is MindArc's servers being a little less than ideal. Too far away to loot. Come on. There we go. All right, we got that loot. Let's take this one out. He's coming after me anyways. But yeah, like, I figured let's just go. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we're going to be able to get sound this time. If we don't, it is what it is. But yeah, let's... Oh, are these guys going after... This guy's going after me too. I think he's stuck. He's unreachable. He's unreachable. All right. This one's unreachable. All right. So when they're unreachable, what you've got to do is you've got to let them get like a hit on you. There we go. Oh no, they're all coming at me? That feels a little bit unfair. That feels a little unfair. To have all of them come at you just because... these server issues. These server issues. It is what it is, though. But yeah, basically, we had a really good hunt last time, and I decided to do it again. And if you know Serial Overdrive, you know that, like, if I'm doing anything in Entropia Universe, I'm probably recording it and talking through it, because why not? I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking. It's part of the game for me. A lot of people, you're probably watching, well, we talked about this last time, but a lot of people are probably playing Entropia, listening to me talk, or watching a movie, doing whatever. I used to do that. Back when The Office was still coming out, that used to be my thing. I'd put those DVDs into my DVD player because I'm old and this game's old. And I'd just watch episodes of The Office while I was trading. Nowadays, I guess I'm talking to a camera making episodes of this junk that everybody can watch. I shouldn't call it junk because there's, you know, there's a considerable bit that went into it. But yeah, I guess while we're here, let's talk about Unreal, because that's one of the things that I'm super psyched about for Entropia Universe. It's like Unreal 5 is coming. It's supposed to come, from what I heard. Now it's 2024. I think in one video I said, ooh, 7 PEDs, not bad. In one of my videos, I think I said it was 2023, and I was corrected on that. So yeah, 2024 is the hope that we're going to be getting Unreal Engine for Entropia Universe. Unreal Engine 5 specifically. Unreal Engine for Entropia Universe would actually be quite the downgrade, if anyone remembers Unreal back in the day. Great engines for its time, but given what we've got nowadays, it's not the best. So yeah, like, I'm super psyched for that. There's some interesting changes. Back in the Discord, we were talking about, like, they might actually put levels on armor. I don't know if they're actually going to do that. I remember back in the day when they started putting levels onto guns. That was something that nobody thought would ever happen. Nobody thought it would stick. It just didn't make sense to people. And then they're like, well, you know, you get that skill increase bonus on guns and blah, blah, blah. So, like, that was how they did it, right? Because you can't just introduce, in my opinion, you can't just introduce levels to something that doesn't have it. Like, this armor I'm wearing right here, you shouldn't be able to say now you've got to be level 100 to wear it, because you're taking something that someone owns and now saying they can't use it. However, if you're going to drop new armor like Vigilante 2.0, and that armor has a, you know, maybe it's L, and it also has a nice little skill increase bonus, there's really... Oh, come on. What happened there? There's really nothing... There's nothing that stops that, right? Like, oh, if you're equipping this armor, you get a nice little skill boost. And now, all of a sudden, this old armor just doesn't make sense anymore. And the reason that would almost work out well for MindArc is because now, all of a sudden, people have a new reason to spend money on whole new armor sets. And armor sets are probably one of the more expensive things in the game, in my opinion, for a normal player, right? Like, you're getting an L gun. If you're going to get an armor set, no matter what armor it is, you got to get 7 pieces. They're going to have a decent amount of TT to them. If it's unlimited, those things come at a decent premium, I believe. You know, 171 PDs just for the harness on this one. If you're looking at like getting a full set, I'm not 100% sure what a full set of Vigilante is, but it's like, it's TT plus, let's say, like, I don't know, 600-700 maybe. So you're looking at a decent spend there. Now, if you're going for an unlimited gun or something like that, that's also a decent spend. But like, how many players are doing that? Most players just buy L guns that are, you know, 100 PEDs, 200, 300 PEDs, something like that. It's not quite the same as an armor set, in my opinion. So like having players have to rebuy those armor sets could be rather lucrative for Mindark, I think. And look, they've already got some. So we were talking about this too, like some of these, like this armor set I've got. Shout out to Drakil, he gave it to me. If you haven't seen my armor guide, it's a great guide that was completely influenced by Drakil, who has a nice shop where you can get all your armor in awesome sets. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I would shout out where it is, but I don't know exactly where it is. But if you search Entropia Universe Armor Guide, you will see a video on it, and I think in the description of that video, I tell you exactly where to find that shop. So a little bit of advertisement for that video 3 years down the line, and for Drakil. That's the main part here, because it was sick that like he like was nice enough to give me this armor. But if you look at this armor too, like it gives buffs, right? So you got your increased load speed, reload speed. Increased reload speed, so that counts for anything with reload, right? So some armors will have nice things like skill buffs, and that'll count for, you know, anything that skill buffs. I think this is all increased reload speed. Oh, here's another one that I've got though. So this is Ascension. So this you got skill gain on BLP, skill gain on laser, skill gain on brawler, or yeah, and on blades. So if you wear this armor, you get a nice little skill boost, which is really, really sick. That is a huge sell for a lot of people, to be honest. Like getting that increased skill boost, and that's unlimited. You're just healing your armor. You're using it anyways. Like there's some really, really nice use case there, in my opinion. And yeah, like if that was a layer that they introduced that made a lot of older armor sets not as valuable, in my opinion, right? Because now all of a sudden, if you've got Vigilante, maybe people don't want it because it doesn't come with those nice little skill boosts, right? So now the next stage would be to give that skill increase bonus, which essentially is a buff, right? Like a buff skill increase bonus. It's an old school buff for Entropia, but it is a buff in my opinion. So you introduce that, now all of a sudden people are going to want new sets of armor, and that gets a nice little increase in spending with the increase in player count that they'll probably get when they release Unreal. So yeah, I could see what the heck is shooting me. Okay, yeah, he's gonna kill me. I'm gonna let this thing kill me. We might head over to Fort Argus, because I wanted to do that last time and I couldn't do it because the mobs were just hitting too hard. And honestly, over here, like, it's a little hard. I keep dying. Let's be 100% transparent here. Like, these mobs are definitely outclassing me. I don't think I could even put on Mayhem and do good with it, right? No. So Vigilante's a little bit better than that Mayhem set I've got for these robots. For most things, that's not the case, but for robots, it is. So let's head to Fort Argus and see if we can't find some robots there to take on. See, yeah, back in the day, the armor sets, they were all unlimited. And like one of the things that Mindark did there was when they introduced foot guards, people were really upset about that. Because, whoops. It looks like Fort Argus is completely under attack. This is going to be fun. Just spawned in thinking like, what could go wrong? And yeah. I don't know what this is. Earn PED faster. Oh boy. I'm gonna heal up over here and hope that they can't hit me inside. You could bring a robot inside here and really wreak havoc on the one guy who's sitting here crafting. That is likely a new player. Because this is not, well, Maybe there's some sort of crafting theory that involves crafting near people that are losing a lot of money hunting. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna take this robot on here. Let's defend Fort Argus. Now we're actually doing it. We're actually like, we're gonna clear it. Let's clear Fort Argus. All right, it's got to get a hit on me. Oh boy. All right, we got a few of them. We got a few of them, but I think we can do this. So luckily the Vigilante armor's holding out here. If we can clear Fort Argus and save it, that'd be awesome. Although right now it is not looking good. We gotta start healing hard here. If they get a critical hit on me, I am dead. Oh, and I'm dead. Speak of the devil, right? Second, I'm like, a critical hit would be all they need to just destroy me. It happens. I gotta heal up, and then I'm gonna go. Whoop. Nope, no. Let's heal. I gotta be more careful too, because these revive points are not safe at all. Where did that robot go that was shooting me? Here, okay. And that I was shooting, I guess they were all shooting me, right? This is weird. I think this might be a bit of a glitch. I don't know if Mindark actually meant to allow all these robots in here, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do to clear this up for everybody. I sort of like this. I like when stuff like this happens because it does give you more of a purpose, right? You feel like you're banding together to actually like save the new player experience or save people who are just coming into the teleporter and they don't know what's going on. So yeah, we're going to clear Fort Argus. I wish they did more events like this, because this is how it used to work in the old days, right? Like, they would just spawn them on the teleporter, and it was like, go at it. These robots are here. If you can hold the teleporter, like, that's great, because now everybody, like, friends and family and everyone can get in and help. And if you can't hold the teleporter, that means everybody's just going to get jumped on the second they spawn in. So I like that aspect of it, and I like that they're not quite bringing it back, but it's back a little bit, right? Like, we've got robots spawning here. We're taking them out so that people can spawn in, and I like it. I like it. We got someone's doing a little bit of damage to me. I think it might be this guy right here. So that's gonna be the next one we take on. That's always important too. You want to take out the mob that's doing the most damage to you, because that's gonna be the one that, like, if it gets a crit hit, it's gonna do the most damage. It's gonna hurt you the most. It seems obvious, but I've seen a lot of players go for the one they can kill first, which I get. Like, there are situations where you might want to do that, but I always like to go for the hardest hitting one, because once it's out, then you can like heal up without as much pressure, hopefully. So now I should be able to heal, because the hope is this one's doing single digit damage. We can properly heal up, and then we can take it out. I think at that point we've cleared it. I wonder how the bank holders feel about this. The banks, that was a huge, in my opinion, that was a disaster. That was like, oh man. So when banks first came out, that was right after, so before banks, it had basically been, so with Entropia, with the releases, the way it works is like they'd have these big auctions, these big events, right? It would be like, we're selling Treasure Island, and everybody would get online, they'd bid for it on the auction, blah, 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 right? So Treasure Island sold a huge success because everybody started going there. They're making a ton of money. It seems awesome, right? So then they sell Club Never Die, otherwise known as FOMA right now. Obviously, that one made billions of dollars. Huge success. Everybody loved it. After that, they came out with Twin Peaks Mall. So that wasn't as big of a success in most people's opinions, but still decently successful. Like, people loved it. The mall shop sold. Mall owners, most of the owners, I think there was Emerald. What was it? Emerald Mall, Emerald Island Mall, Emerald. It's probably still here, I'm sure. Where is it? Emerald Lakes Mall. That was it, yeah. So Emerald Lakes Mall, that one wasn't as successful, in my opinion, from what I heard, right? Like, the owner didn't make as much money back, because the other ones were in Port Atlantis and Twin Peaks. Those were the two most active areas in the game back in the day. That's where all the traders would stand. That's sort of where you'd go if you wanted to basically, 25 BDs, not bad. That's where you'd go if you wanted, like, a chat room. Entropia Universe could also, like, double as a chat room back in the day. So, like, games weren't as online as they are now, right? There weren't as many things like Discord, all that. There was Ventrilo or Vent, but that wasn't quite what it is today. Like, and then you got IRC and stuff like that. For the most part, a lot of people would just sit in games and use the in-game chat, especially in MMOs. So people would sit in Twin Peaks, they'd sit in Port Atlantis, and they'd be talking over their society chat, and they talk in local chat, and that was, everybody was having a great time with it, right? We didn't have channels. So if you wanted to speak with the community, you were stuck either using the forums, because Reddit and all that stuff didn't exist yet. Facebook didn't exist yet even. So you were stuck using the forums, and you were stuck using in-game chats, right? There wasn't really, I don't remember there being a big IRC community or anything like that. So yeah, people would sit in these areas and talk. So the malls being in Twin Peaks and Port Atlantis was perfect because people were right there. And a lot of the time when people get a little bit bored or they'd want something to do, they'd go explore the shops and see like all the cool items there were, maybe buy some stuff. I had a shop in Twin Peaks, and a lot of people, that's how they found it, right? They were just running through the mall looking at all the cool items that were for sale. You'd have something cool out in your sort of shop front. People would see it and they'd be like, oh, that looks awesome. They'd come in and they'd see that you're selling ores and end matter, but maybe they needed something and you're at auction rate, so they'd buy it off of you. Or you had small amounts, so they'd buy it off of you. Those were the two big use cases, right? Because, you know, if someone's looking to buy list, right, maybe they only need 10 PDs worth. That's very hard to get on auction because of that 50%, 50 PEC auction fee and all of that. So the shops could fill that void for a lot of like sort of little crafters. And if you had enough of them coming to you, you could legitimately make some decent money on it. So yeah, like people would come through the shops and all that, and Emerald Lakes didn't quite have that community around it, but it did come with a land area. So I think like because the land area had sort of worked out, but the shops didn't sell as well. And because of that, like people thought that was like, you know, it was one of those things like a lot of people in the community were like, no, of course, it's still like a huge success. But there were those that thought like it's a little bit of a failure, right? And after that came the banks, and I think the banks were, they were the first one that everybody was like, nah, this really didn't work out. And I know like there's people that'll argue like the banks made money, blah, 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 but I really don't think they had a really good return for what they were. And then I think after the banks, you had motherships. No, after the banks, you had planets. That was a little bit different though, because players couldn't buy that. And then after that, you got the motherships, and you got the unique like Unel planes, and there's a bunch of other stuff that came, and you got like Calypso land deeds in there, which were massively successful, followed up by Arcadia Underground deeds, which were slightly successful, followed by Moon deeds and Combat deeds, which one of them was for a game that they funded, and then it no longer exists, and the Moon really doesn't pay out that much. So I've got Moon deeds still. I forget what I paid for them, but I think they're down. Actually, they might not be down as much as they used to be. But I think they're still down a little bit. And Arcadia deeds used to be 50. You're paying 50 PDs for them. Now they're worth 80. So a little bit of a return, but nothing crazy. Whereas when you look at Calypso land deeds, now that they've converted them over, it's even crazier, right? So like, what are Calypso land deeds here? Let's check it out. 33, so basically 3,351 PEDs is what you'd be paying for one deed right now, because they were broken up by interval. You know, one deed's 100, right? So you just add 2 zeros to the price. And the cool thing about that is like they used to be 1,000 PEDs. And for those of you who don't know, like when those deeds came out, that was when I was looking to play Entropia a little bit less. I wasn't looking to trade anymore, so I took all of my funds, those hard-earned funds that I'd made from trading, and I put them into CLDs. It was honestly, that was probably the luckiest I've ever gotten in the game. People talk about getting Hoffs and this and that. All right, what am I going to get with this? Let's just get something weird. Power Fist. I just like to get a lot of skills sometimes. Let's see how many I got. I don't even think it would be that many. Let's check. 49. Not that many. But yeah, I just bought them because I wasn't planning on trading, and I'm like, what should I do? And I figured, all right, let's just buy some deeds, because why not? And obviously that turned out to probably be one of the best purchases I've ever made in Entropia Universe. It's made me many, many, many times more money than trading did. In fact, you could probably say it's made me well over 3 times as much money because the deeds tripled in price. And yeah, that was, I think originally I started out with 10 of them, and then like I'd slowly just put them back into each other and got up to 21. And now I'm buying these odd shares because they're selling for dirt, like not dirt cheap, but they're selling for way less than they used to. So I can put more, I can compound the interest I'm getting out of the deeds way faster than I used to be able to, which is awesome. But it also means the price of deeds has gone up, which, because I hold deeds, is also really awesome. Another thing too you don't see people talking about is the fact that there's Calypso plot tokens that you can sell to. I don't know what sort of plot it is. It's for the plot, I guess. I don't know. Does it say the price on here? Does it say the actual price? Not really. All right, it just says that. But yeah, those are worth something too. I think that might be worth like 10, 20 PDs, something like that. So like, it's quite the return that you've made off Calypso land deeds if you bought them, especially back in the day. I'd say that would be probably one of my more successful purchases. Like that, yeah, for sure. Like I just said, that was my most successful purchase. I don't know why I said one of. I don't think anything I bought has come close. Like I tried to do the same thing with Compat Deeds. I tried to do the same thing with, Moon Deeds. I tried to do the same thing with Underground Deeds, and none of them have come close. I've also bought all the other ones too, like Treasure Island. And yeah, if a deed came out, I bought it because I had so much luck with the other deeds. And unfortunately, I don't think any of them have come close to, yeah, Ancient Greece, Crystal Palace, New Treasure Island. Yeah, I bought them all. Not in huge amounts, but I did put some money into all of them, and it seems like CLDs are just that's where it's at, to be honest, because that's the planet that everybody sticks to. One of my hopes is with the Unreal Engine, they're gonna fix that, because one of the big issues with Entropia Universe is they've got so much content, so many planets, and a lot of players just never leave Calypso because there's that barrier to entry. You need the time to fly across space, and it might take you 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and like, oopsies, I wasn't paying attention. And some people, they just don't have the time to invest in it, right? Like they don't have the time to bother with transiting to a planet that they're only going to just look around, right? It's weird. I hear a helicopter flying over. I was just like, why? Anyways, they just don't have the time, right? And, you know, it's like there's so much of the game, so much investment, so much like that's been done by people who really, you know, like they're trying to create something cool that just doesn't get seen by the majority of players because motherships and all of that and everything. What is this guy doing? What a weirdo. I don't know why he's bringing me mobs. I shouldn't say weirdo, but I know what he's doing. That's what I'm saying. He's trying to bring those mobs inside so they kill people. I spend all this time cleaning the station out, and this guy's just bringing them back. If I global off one of them, I'm definitely going to have to thank the guy. But yeah, it's been a wild ride with Entropia. This is the game I've played for the longest. Like, maybe you could include some other games like Counter-Strike, or if you want to take Call of Duty and say like all of them are one, that might be another one. But like a game that's like been mostly unchanging, Entropia Universe is the game I've played the longest. And that's one thing that's really unique about Entropia Universe. Like most games, if you take what they were 10 years ago and look at what they are now, it's a completely different beast. Like you can't go into a game that's 10 years old and expect to play it like you did 10 years ago. Whereas Entropia Universe, you still can. Obviously the meta's changed, a lot of that stuff has changed, but you really can go into this game, like I do it a lot, and play it like you used to play. Like I still use a lot of the same guns and gear and stuff like that. I mean, obviously sometimes you've got to ask people like, hey, what's the new meta? What gun should I be using if I've got this level? But as long as you update that, like you're good to go. Like the play style of like take a shot and start walking back, or maybe like use a finisher pistol and all of that stuff, that advice is all still pretty relevant. The things that aren't relevant are like if you're looking into loot cycles, loot waves, stuff like that. Loot 2.0 changed a lot of that. So like a lot of that advice is now bad advice, right? Like back in the day when Entropia first started, it used to have mining veins, and that would be this like a vein that you could find, right? And you just follow this line, like this, not like a straight line, but you follow like a jagged line across the continent. and you could find a vein of an ore, right? So like if you find a vein of a very rare ore, you just follow that thing for as far as it goes, and you know, you're hoping it's a long one because you're going to be getting a lot of it. You're going to be able to sell it for a huge markup, and it's, you know, everybody's having a great time then, right? The other thing about claims is it used to be that if a claim dropped, you didn't get it until you actually claimed it. So there used to be this problem where, like, if a miner was going out, they would not pull their mining gear out. This was a little before my time, but I heard about it. They would not want to pull their mining gear out before they're outside of the towns, the settlements, all of that, because what would happen is you get these new players like sneakily following along. I mean, you got your radar, so you can see them, but like they're just following along, like acting like they're doing nothing. You get a claim. If it's behind you and they're right there, they might be able to get to it before you do. And now it's their claim. It's not your claim anymore. And yeah, for good reasons, I think Mindark took that feature or that bug or whatever you want to call it out of the game. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. Like, it's a cool idea. I'd like to see it in a game where you're not spending real money, but when people are spending real money every time they drop or every time they go for something, like it's really going to get on people's nerves if they're losing claims to basically new players who either don't know what they're doing or know exactly what they're doing. So yeah, I'm glad they changed that bit. How much ammo do we have left? Still 66 PDs. All right. I was thinking we were almost done with this hunt, but no. So this is a rather large hunt for me. Usually I do 50 PD hunts. I feel like that's a really nice number for videos, especially because you're doing like 10, 20 minutes. These when I'm doing it like this, it's going to go on a little bit longer. So I start to run out of things to talk about, and then we've got to talk about, you know, I don't know, random conspiracy theories or something like that, which back in the day a lot of people used to love. Some people didn't, but you know, it's part of the charm, I guess, of Serial Overdrive. You get a little bit of rambling in there with these longer videos, or you get a lot of rambling in there with these longer videos. I'm basically like an old man in Entropia Universe. I'm sitting on my porch step talking about how good things used to be. Although I wouldn't say being able to steal someone's mining claim, like legitimately steal someone's mining claim, was a good thing, but definitely gave a different element to the game. There's a little bit more risk involved. You sort of wanted it to be PvP no matter where you went, right? Especially if you're a miner. I'm not having the greatest time here with the loot though, to be honest. So I might call this here. Like this is decent. This is okay. Probably around break even, to be honest. Like I'm getting some skills, so that's always a good thing. But it could be better. So what I might do is I might just wrap the video up here, get a few more kills, wrap the video up, and then I might continue playing, but I'll put on a TV show, maybe a YouTuber or something like that. Listen to, I don't know who to listen to. As far as podcasts go, like I could use some suggestions. Actually, we can talk about this. So like when it comes to podcasts, I used to have all these ones I'd listen to, but a lot of them have just gone like either they've gone off the rails or like it's just gotten too, I don't know, it's too repetitive, right? Like, you know, I've heard all this stuff and it's like blah blah blah. So like Joe Rogan, I liked him. I stopped listening to him so much because a lot of it's just, a lot of the experts he brings on aren't really experts when you look into them. Like it's interesting when we'll bring on someone like Elon Musk or Lex, or you know, Lex Friedman, that would be, or someone like that who, you know, like whatever they're talking about, like they probably do know a decent amount. But then some of these people that he brings on, I forget what it was around COVID, he brought on some doctor and I was listening to it. I'm like, all right, this all sounds legitimate. And then like I did a little bit more like looking into the doctor, and he was like talking about how vampires were real and some other thing and like this and that. And I'm like, all right, this isn't like he is a doctor. He is a doctor. He has his degrees. He's probably decently knowledgeable in his field, but you know, like when the guy's talking about how this is all government conspiracy and then you find out he believes in vampires, you're like, well, all right. And maybe there are vampires, right? I don't know, but his evidence, he had like a whole website, and the evidence he posted was not the evidence that I would expect if you're talking about an academic who's giving you advice on various things, and it was out there. But after that, I started looking into the guests a little bit more, and a lot of them don't really meet the smell test, in my opinion. And I know Joe Rogan likes conspiracies, so I'm like, he's probably like a little bit too enticed by some of this stuff and just brings in these people because like it sounds like an interesting idea. So I do listen to him still, but not as much as I used to. Lex Friedman I actually really like when he has like some of these really good guests on. PKA, Painkiller Already, that's another one I listen to. It's just like an old school gaming podcast. It's got, that one's actually interesting. It's got Woody's Gamer Tag. It's got FPS Russia, like some really old YouTube names, and they bring on other old YouTube names. So like when I was in my heyday of listening to it, they're talking to all those guys, and it's cool. But yeah, if you've got any recommendations, make sure you drop them. Let's go ahead and get that TT valuation out there, and we'll call it a day. Also, I have no idea when this video is going to be posted. It probably won't be. We'll see. So let's see, 155 PDs. We're coming back with 147. So look, we're sitting around 155 PDs. So what we're going to lose pretty much is decay minus a couple PDs. Or plus a couple PDs. Sorry, minus a couple PDs from the decay. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's see, where's the gun? Let's drop that in. Okay, so we lost about like, 17 to 19 PEDs, depending on markup, everything like that. Obviously, because of ammo, you've got to take some % off for that, because you can convert shrapnel into ammo, and it's more efficient, and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, it's not a bad round, but it was not like the last one. Not at all. No globals, nothing crazy. But hey, every run can't be an amazing one. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the fact that everybody's still here listening to these videos and hopefully enjoying what they hear. Until next time, peace.